Her grandchildren visit less frequently because Patricia can't afford to host meals or provide comfortable accommodations. The community loses an active member because Patricia's time and money get consumed by housing maintenance rather than volunteer activities and social participation. Housing decisions affect every aspect of Patricia's well-being, including her physical safety, financial security, social connections, and mental health. The house that once provided stability now creates stress that impacts her sleep, appetite, and overall health. The maintenance demands reduce her physical activity and social engagement, while the financial pressure creates anxiety about her long-term security. Early planning and exploring all available housing options can help seniors find suitable solutions before crisis situations force hasty decisions. Patricia's situation could improve through housing counseling services, reverse mortgage options, home modification programs, and community resources designed to help seniors age in place safely and affordably. Yet even when housing challenges are resolved, many seniors discover that the physical structure of their living situation represents only one piece of a larger puzzle about how to spend their remaining years meaningfully. The purpose void after retirement. Finding meaningful ways to spend time becomes the central challenge that determines whether retirement feels like freedom or imprisonment. James describes his retirement as a long weekend that never ends. And the phrase captures something most retirement planning never addresses. He retired 3 years ago from his job as a plant supervisor at a manufacturing company where he worked for 38 years. The farewell party was nice. The gold watch sits on his dresser. The pension checks arrive monthly. But the days stretch ahead of him like an endless corridor with no destination in sight. He wakes up at 6 a.m. because his body clock still runs on work time. But there's nowhere to go and nothing that needs his immediate attention. The loss of work identity creates an existential crisis that catches many seniors completely off guard. James defined himself through his professional role for nearly 4 decades. He was the guy who solved production problems, managed difficult employees, and kept the plant running smoothly during equipment breakdowns and supply shortages. Co-workers came to him for advice. His supervisors relied on his expertise. His paycheck reflected his value to the organization. Now he's just another retiree with no title, no responsibilities, and no clear sense of what he's supposed to do with the remaining years of his life. The daily struggle of finding meaning becomes overwhelming when career achievements feel distant and irrelevant to current reality. James spent decades building expertise in manufacturing processes, quality control, and team management. He could troubleshoot complex machinery, optimize production schedules, and navigate union negotiations. But these skills feel useless in retirement when nobody needs his knowledge and experience. The accomplishments that once brought satisfaction now seem like ancient history that has no bearing on his present circumstances. James represents a broader crisis affecting millions of retirees who discover that financial preparation doesn't address the psychological challenges of leaving careers that provided identity and purpose. Many seniors report feeling purposeless years after retirement, indicating that the adjustment period extends far beyond the initial transition. These aren't people who hated their jobs or couldn't wait to retire, but individuals who found meaning and satisfaction in their work roles. The structure that work provided disappears overnight, leaving James without the framework that organized his days and gave them direction. He used to have meetings to attend, problems to solve, and deadlines to meet. His calendar stayed full with training sessions, budget reviews, and project planning. Now his days have no external structure or built-in purpose. He can stay in bed until noon or watch television all day without anyone caring or noticing. The freedom he thought he wanted feels more like aimlessness. Social connections that developed through work relationships also vanish when James retires. His closest friendships were with colleagues who shared the daily challenges and victories of keeping the plant operating efficiently. They understood his work stories, appreciated his expertise, and included him in their professional and personal networks. Retirement severed these connections abruptly. His former co-workers moved on to new challenges, while James found himself excluded from the workplace community that had been his primary social environment. The challenge of reinventing yourself at 68 feels overwhelming when society views seniors as past their prime. James considers volunteering but worries that organizations will see him as out of touch with modern methods and technology. He thinks about starting a small business, but assumes potential customers will prefer younger entrepreneurs. The ageism he encounters makes him question whether he has anything valuable to offer in a world that seems designed for younger people. James's attempts to find new activities and interests get frustrated by his uncertainty about what brings him satisfaction. Work provided clear goals and measurable outcomes. He knew when he had succeeded and when he had failed. Now he tries different hobbies and activities, but nothing creates the same sense of accomplishment and purpose that his job provided. Gardening, woodworking, and reading fill time but don't fill the void left by meaningful work. Financial concerns limit James's ability to pursue activities that might provide purpose and fulfillment. His retirement income covers basic living expenses but doesn't allow for expensive hobbies, travel, or volunteer work that require significant financial contributions. He wants to take woodworking classes, but the equipment and materials cost more than his discretionary budget allows. He considers volunteering for organizations that require travel or special training, but can't afford the associated expenses. The hidden depression that develops from feeling unneeded and unproductive affects James's energy and motivation in ways that compound his sense of purposelessness. He sleeps later because he has no reason to get up early. He skips meals because cooking for one person feels pointless. He avoids social situations because he doesn't know how to answer questions about what he's doing with his retirement. The depression feeds on itself, making it harder to find the energy needed to explore new sources of meaning and connection. James's experience reflects a fundamental misunderstanding about retirement that treats it as an ending rather than a transition to a new phase of life. The cultural narrative about retirement focuses on relaxation and leisure, but ignores the human need for purpose, contribution, and growth. James didn't retire because he wanted to stop working, but because he reached the age when retirement was expected and financially feasible. Finding new sources of meaning and contribution can transform the senior years from decline into renaissance. James's manufacturing expertise could benefit non-profit organizations, small businesses, or educational institutions that need his knowledge and experience. His leadership skills could serve community organizations, religious groups, or volunteer programs that require coordination and management. His desire to contribute something valuable to society could be channeled into mentoring, teaching, or consulting roles that honor his expertise while providing new challenges and growth opportunities. The transformation James needs requires recognizing that purpose must be actively cultivated rather than passively discovered. But this realization often comes only after families and seniors themselves acknowledge that these daily struggles represent problems with solutions rather than inevitable consequences of aging. Recognition opens the door to transformation. These 12 struggles aren't written in stone as inevitable parts of getting older. They're challenges that can be tackled head-on when families recognize what's really happening behind closed doors. Julie learned to use her smartphone with patient help from her granddaughter. Robert found peace through budgeting that separated needs from wants. Margaret simplified her medication routine with her doctor's guidance. Every single problem we've explored has solutions that work when people stop suffering in silence. Here's what you can do right now. Choose one senior in your life and help them master one specific technology function this week. Show them how to video call, send a photo, or join a family group chat. Start small and be patient. Understanding these problems creates the foundation for building support systems that help seniors thrive instead of just surviving their golden years.